So, Peter, we have heard Secretary Blinken, we've heard the president say repeatedly over the course of months what we just heard, which is that Israel has to prioritize protecting civilians. Now we've heard what they say they're going to do. What are you hearing the administration is going to be looking for? In what timeline? And are they satisfied that Israel essentially is going to be policing itself, doing its own investigation?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the announcement of the opening of the crossing and the port for delivery of supplies is seen in the White House as a down payment, in effect, on what they believe Netanyahu has agreed to give President Biden in order to keep U.S. policy from changing. But they're looking for a couple of things. They're looking for instance, specific procedural changes on their strikes, on their military operations to prevent or at least mitigate the risk to civilians. They want to see not just a generalized commitment to do better, but they want to see very specific strategic procedural changes that they can evaluate and say, okay, this will actually make a difference on the ground. And they also want to see a more commitment, they say, from the Netanyahu government to the negotiations that will resume in Qatar on Saturday to see if they can broker a temporary ceasefire in exchange for the release of hostages being held by Hamas since the October 7th terrorist attack. They say that the negotiators that Israel sends need to be empowered. That's the word the White House uses in order to make a deal. And I think so. These two other categories, these two other baskets are as important to the White House in some ways as humanitarian aid, and they're watching and will evaluate how Israel responds. You're
right, of course, the White House has been pushing for a ceasefire for some time now, and there have been a number of times when it seemed like there might be hope, and then those hopes were dashed. Is there a sense from the folks you're hearing on the U.S. side that this could be a turning point, that they're going into these talks on Saturday on different footing?
Well, every time we've thought there's a turning point, we have been, wrong, of course, and so we have to be careful about that. But certainly, I think the Biden administration is doing more to put pressure on the Israelis to make a deal. The question is, can they get a deal from Hamas? That's the other side of the table, of course, and Hamas has not exactly agreed to a lot of the things that have been proposed by the Americans and other intermediaries like the Egyptians and Qataris either. So it's not enough to have one side ready to agree. You have to have both sides ready to agree. And so you've got to be careful. But Bill Burns, the CIA director, will be in Cairo on, I think I said Qatar earlier, he'll be in Cairo on Saturday for these talks that will include the Qataris and the Egyptians. And so will the head of Mossad, Israel's spy agency. And there is some sense that, Netanyahu understands that Biden is taking this pretty seriously at this point, that they know the Americans have been the one place on the planet where they can count on support. And if they lose Biden, they're really in trouble. And they want to avoid doing that, obviously.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.